First, West Virginia residents were told that their water was unsafe to drink. Now, one expert warns that the air in Charleston could also be toxic. Take a deep breath because this one is a doozy. West Virginia Environmental Quality Board member Scott Simonton testified in front of West Virginia's Joint Legislative Oversight Commission on State Water Resources that he conducted tests and found trace amounts of cancer-causing formaldehyde in the air. Simonton believes this toxic air is linked to the spill of thousands of gallons of 4-methycyclohexane methanol into the Elk River earlier this month. State officials have blasted the testimony. The West Virginia American Water Company called Simonton's opinion misleading and irresponsible. The West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources put out a statement saying, quote, Scott Simonton's presentation to the West Virginia Joint Legislative Committee today is totally unfounded and does not speak to the health and safety of West Virginians. They also argue that formaldehyde is only created under extremely high temperatures. But Simonton is not the only expert speaking out. Richard Dennison, a toxicologist at the Environmental Defense Fund, said he thought the Center for Disease Control might have called the all clear too early, given the fact that the only research ever done on this chemical's health effects were tests on lab rats done back in 1990. He also pointed out that only adult rats were exposed to the chemical, so it is hard to determine the effects on children. Now, to be fair, the CDC never used the word safe to describe the water when it gave the all clear. Instead, they said they would, quote, not expect any adverse health effects below 1 part per million. Meanwhile, we are also learning that the amount of MCHM spilled into the Elk River is bigger than originally estimated. It now stands at 10,000 gallons. Also, a second chemical was leaking into the Elk River that's known as PHH. What's more, the Huffington Post reports that Freedom Industries knew about the second chemical leak for weeks, but did not disclose the details about it to the state or federal regulators because it's considered a trade secret that could hurt the company's bottom line financially if the information is disclosed. Freedom Industries filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy right after the spill, essentially stopping all West Virginia residents and businesses from seeking legal action against the company. But, as MSNBC's Chris Hayes pointed out, in order to file for bankruptcy, Freedom Industries has to find another company to finance it. Not one, but two companies stepped up to the plate, Mountaineer Funding LLC and WV Funding. However, it turns out that Mountaineer Funding LLC was also incorporated the same day that it offered to save Freedom Industries. And guess what? The company's officer is one J. Clifford Forrest, the very man who bought Freedom Industries at the end of last year. As for WV Funding, that company is organized by the lawyer who also organized Mountaineer Funding LLC. And the sole listed member of that company is, you guessed it, Mountaineer Funding LLC. Critics are now calling this collusion. Freedom Industries now needs to disclose its financial situation and come up with a reorganization plan. However, that plan could take months or even years to be put into effect. So it looks as if the battle for West Virginia's water supply isn't over yet. In Washington, Megan Lopez, RT.